Yes. So, welcome back everybody. You might put the volume down a bit for the last session before our lunch. So I know we are between you and your lunch, but we will have a very exciting session about innovations in situ and ex situ conservation. So we will hear about how to use available data and how to gain innovative new one, and also by using strategies to identify your priorities in conservation, and last but not least, how those can make an input and contribute towards conservation. And this will be a shorter session, which means shorter in terms of the single presentations. So we will also, I ask you to collect your questions until the end, where you can address them to all of our lovely speakers. And I ask you also, as these talks are quite short, I ask you to check your phones that these are in silent mode. And we will directly start with Hannah Jenkins from ECF24 for bridging the gap between in situ and ex situ conservation through data, together with, I see you, sorry, here we go, please, both of you.
Just checking you can hear me okay. I think we're the first ones to use this. So.
I think it's on.
No,
It's off. It's on. It's on.
Is it on?
But then it's not loud enough.
I think it's off.
Is it on enough now?
No.
No? Now? Now? Yeah, okay. Perfect. So, hi everyone, I'm Hannah, this is Vega. We're from ECF24, and we're going to talk to you about some projects we've been working on to try and bridge the gap between in situ and ex situ conservation through data. So last year there was a significant step in recognising the important work that ex situ collections do for conservation with the release of the IUCN SSE position statement on the role of zoos, botanic gardens, aquariums in species conservation. The position statement highlights that while these organisations are important for species conservation, this role is often undervalued, under-recognised and misunderstood. And this is something that ECF24 wanted to help. So for those that don't know us, ECF24 is a non-profit organisation, and our mission is to foster international collaboration in the collection and sharing of data to serve global plant and animal management and conservation goals. And we do this through our 3 databases. So firstly, we have ZIMS, and most of you might know this. This is our zoological information management system, which houses our animal data. We also have Hortis, our plant management software, and then our recently acquisition of the SCTI tools to help with conservation data understanding. So ZIMS is what I'm going to focus on for this project. So with ZIMS, we have over 1,300 members contributing to the global database, and this really is the largest set of data on animals under human care. We've collected data over our 50 years on over 4.9 million animals from over 34,000 species. From these animals, we've collected data on over 7 million biological samples and over 22 million measurements, animal measurements. So this is a real wealth of data that we can learn from and understand from. And our members have released over 160,000 animals back to the wild. And we have data on this of who those animals are, their lineage, and where they've been released to. So this project is trying to make the most out of our ex situ knowledge, and then trying to partner with organisations to increase the awareness of this knowledge. So we've been busy working on a partnership between ECF24 and IUCN to try and bring these two worlds together, so bringing the ex situ and in situ data together to form a single picture. So we're in active development at the moment, and we're creating a way to feed ZIMS data into the IUCN Red List so that we can start to highlight the important work that we're doing. So we're going to be linking ex situ data to the IUCN Red List page through a new section, which I'll give you all a big preview of today. So this is a new section within the ex situ data area, and it tells us information like the total population size currently in ex situ, so the number of males, females and unsex individuals, and then the total population size. The number of holding institutions that hold that species in the number of countries, and then a bit of information on population management programs and who hosts those population management programs. And then finally a map to visualize this data. So this will show you aggregated by country, the number of institutions holding that species and the total population size. So we can really help to highlight the important contributions that our members are making to ex situ conservation, but also the potential support for species where ex situ support might be required in the future. So before I hand over to Rico for another project, just want to say a quick thank you to these project sponsors, because without this project would not be possible.
Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, and I want to highlight another project that we completed last month, of which you and experts from the field were really the key to be able to develop this. So the CITES authority reached out to us and asked us to provide a report on, in this case, 50 completely random species. So it's not one taxa, it was taxa spread among insects, reptiles, birds, whatever. And they asked us to provide information of the breeding biology, the captive husbandry, ease of breeding, marking system, and extent of breeding. And especially the breeding biology is the important factor here, because the CITES authority need this to be able to make the assessment. What we started to do was, of course, to figure out what information do we already have science-wise. But in many of these cases, the publications, the science, the knowledge that was out there was simply just not enough. So what we did was to use the Conservation Science Alliance, which is an alliance of all of us, all experts working on conservation. So we contacted experts on these 50 species to get information on these species. So one direct way that both you experts from zoological institutions and experts from the field was contributing was directly through knowledge. In some cases we were really lucky to have the best practice guidelines where we could just extract the information because you have already done the work. In other cases we needed to develop this completely from scratch, asking you specific questions like how do you take care of this specific turtle. Or in case of some fishes, we need to talk to the experts from the field working with this. When do they breed? How do they breed? And in some cases, this was not enough either. So the last thing we needed to do was to apply science internally in the science team of Species 360, also utilizing the SIMS data. And by utilizing the data that you have been collected through the last decades, we were able, for many species, to collect and scientifically figure out what is the maximum lifespan, age of maturity, what is the seasonality, things that does not exist, and we were only able to provide this data to the CITES authorities because of your data. So yeah, if you don't know what we do in the Conservation Science Alliance, you can read more about us here. And in the meantime, we also updated our research request process to make sure that when the IUCN SIMS is combined, we will make sure that other scientists, researchers from all over the world will be able to access the data, so the impact of your data will be even higher in the future. Yeah, all of you are welcome to contact us if you need anything, want to collaborate on anything. And if you want to see something specifically about which projects have been utilizing the SIMS data, we will be hosting a research symposium later this year with researchers from all over the world presenting their results and projects with the SIMS data as the main data source in the research. Yes?
Wow.
congratulations to this new alliance.